Welcome to the Book Party Podcast. Join us as we journey into the world of books with Michael T. Prepare to be captivated by engaging interviews, insightful discussions, and fascinating stories. You'll discover new adventures and gain insight into the creative process of the authors themselves as they share their struggles and accomplishments. Now let's hear from Michael T.
We're here today with Carl Kinsella, author of The Magnetic Mindset, exploring this comprehensive guide that teaches you the art of communication, influence and persuasion, transferring you into a captivating and irresistible individual who can easily win hearts and minds. Carl started his life as a psychologist, has been a consultant for the government in Australia, had an extensive career in marketing, and has been a business coach. He was made a bit redundant due to COVID at the end of 2020 and is committed to not having to put a suit back on again. So, Carl, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself to our listeners?
Well, I guess to add to that, I haven't had to put my suit back on at this stage. I've packed them all away. They're about 5,000 kilometers away. Yeah, so everything
Did I pronounce your last name right?
Look, if people in Ireland would pronounce it Kinsella, we say Kinsella here in Australia, so yeah, it's close enough.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm a father of three, so I've got 3 adult children. I've got a partner, got my dog who I'm traveling Australia with at the moment. And yeah, I guess loving life.
Well, that's fantastic. So, are you a self-publishing author, an agency author, an indie author? What kind of author are you?
I would classify myself as self-publishing. I do the outline work myself. I do most of the work myself, other than, I guess, outsourcing some of the ghostwriting. So I do quite comprehensive outlines. In fact, I've been quite commended on how comprehensive my outlines have been. So overall,
well, you do the research.
I do all the
research with your outline.
Yeah.
So do you hire like a? So do you hire like a book cover person to do your book covers too?
I do. So when I published my first book, I did outsource an outline to be done, and it was woeful. So I decided I'm better off doing that one myself. But that's part of the learning experience of being a self-publisher and trying to outsource as much as you can. So the only things I don't do is the book cover. I outsource, but I do the rest myself. I do the book formatting myself. I do all the descriptions, the book descriptions. You name it. And as most people would know, when you're in a book publishing business, the job is really advertising. So I do all the advertising myself as well.
Oh, okay. So you don't use agencies or anything like that?
Oh, look, I've tried to do a few outsourcing where I've done some social media outsourcing.
But I don't really mean that. I mean,
kind of at that
have an agency basically take over your book, and they're going to do
just
everything
as well myself. And
soup
I
to
enjoy
nuts
the
marketing.
learning process
They're
of
going
learning how to do
take
a lot
it
of those
away
things.
from you and do all this stuff.
Yeah. So the biggest thing for me is I'm happy to outsource as long as the quality is there.
Right.
My experience so far has been the quality, other than the book cover. The book covers I've been extremely happy with, and I've been using the same guy for my book covers because I'm happy with his work and he responds quickly.
Well, I know your cover on the Magnetic Mindset's fantastic. That's a great cover.
Yeah, no, and I'm about to release my second book called Profit Hacking, and he's done another excellent job on that one as well. So really happy with that and getting a lot of good feedback via social media, via author groups on the book covers. which, as you know, are very important when you're trying to market your book.
Yeah, I tried to do a book cover myself, and I think you saw that first one, and it wasn't very good. So I actually outsourced someone to do the book cover. I changed it, and it was 1,000% better. What a
I liked your second book cover.
Yeah, I was really happy, and it was early on, so the switch of that the switch was easy because it was so early on. Okay, well, why don't you take us?
No, absolutely, it's critical. It's critical to get it right, and if you can do things early, I think that
you
makes
would
a huge
say
difference.
Was your worst author moment.
I think it's when I got kicked off LinkedIn recently for about 10 days for apparently having a duplicate account, so they said. And I was in the midst of doing my advertising blitz on LinkedIn. I'd paid for a lot of social media to be done, so it cost me a fair bit of money. And then they kicked me off, and it took 10 days to get back on. So that's been my worst moment so far, is spending money on advertising. You've set yourself up for a bit of a blitz. So June was going to be my big blitz month. And then, getting kicked off for the most stupid of reasons by LinkedIn, which apparently happens a lot. So I'm told. And I don't think it's still resolved, but I'm back on. So, yeah.
You got to live and learn from some things,
You do. You do.
What about, and this is what I call an epiphany moment, because there's times where I can just be doing something and just go, I just had an epiphany. Wow. And it takes you to another place and you just start going. Have you ever had that?
I think my biggest moment has been when my first book was being written, and my writer wasn't following my outline specifically. And I had a vision of what would be written, and I had to allow the ghostwriter to write her story. So it was letting go of that part of the process, and knowing that, if I want to write the way I write, then write the book. If I'm not going to write it the way I want, then you need to allow the ghostwriter to do their work and have faith in them. So that was my biggest aha moment. So, I guess the book wasn't going how I saw it going. And then my partner loved the book. And she said, no, I love this book. This is fantastic, because we were reading it as she was writing it. And it was just letting go of that part of the process, because the idea of being, I guess, a book publisher is to get books published. I'm not an author, so to speak. I'm a book publisher, and there's a difference.
There is. You got to put different hats on sometimes. You got to know when to let go on certain things and when to take control. And it's hard to feel like you're losing control, especially in something like a book, because there's so many steps from beginning to end that people don't understand how many steps there is when you're doing a book. And you just don't like losing control on something, except the cover, because you can always make them change it.
Yeah, exactly. And look, my first book took a long time to get going, because you're learning the process, you're learning the steps that are involved. My second one was just expedited, exponentially, and I can't wait. I've got ideas now for probably my next 7 or 8 books that I hope to have out this year. And it's just going to be so much easier. Like you just get more efficient. You know what you're after. I'm getting quicker at writing my outlines. I've got my processes all set up now. I just need to work a little bit more on my advertising and my post follow-up, which I'm doing now. So,
Okay, well, in writing, and you're writing now, what is the one thing that you're most fired up about today?
I think it's really learning. I think it's the advertising component. I've accepted that, if you're in the book publishing business, you're really into advertising. And so, I've set up a blog page where I'll be promoting my work as my pen name, which is Thomas Allen, for this genre. So I've been writing blogs. It's learning the advertising process, the affiliate links that go inside a blog, that link to the book. And I'm enjoying that process of actually measuring the social media and the impact that you can have with people. And I actually get fired up over the reviews too, so the genuine reviews that come through, are you making a difference in people's lives? And that's what I really like to do. So I like helping people. That's been part of my passion for a long, long time. As you mentioned at the beginning, I started life as a psychologist. I've been a coach for a long time, and I just see the book publishing as a bit of an extension of what I've previously done, which has given me a bit of freedom and not having to put on the suit again.
Okay, well, what was the best advice you've ever received in writing or as an author?
I think that it doesn't have to be perfect. And the idea is to get books published. And if I can have a bit of a perfectionist streak in me, so it's sometimes you've got to let a few things go, even if it's not exactly how you want it. The idea is to get the final product done.
Well, we're all human, so we gotta. Perfection just really doesn't happen. You'll never get your book out.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And look, I could be one of those people where I could go through and go over and over because it's not how I would naturally write. But you've got to let people, impart their own style. Yeah.
Well, okay. Why don't you share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success?
I think the best thing I do every day is my morning consists of taking the dog for a walk early. And then I pretty much sit down from about 6:45 in the morning through to about midday. And I'm obviously a morning person. That I plow through all my work. So all the jobs that need to be done every single day, pretty much. I don't really take much of a day off, maybe on the weekends or when I'm traveling. I don't do any work because I think I mentioned I am traveling around Australia at the moment. And then in the afternoons, once I've taken the dog for a second walk, that's when I actually invest time in my own learning. So I spend a couple of hours each day learning something new that can contribute towards the success of the business. So, yeah, mornings I'm working on the business, and in the afternoons I work on me. Yeah.
Well, great. Can you share maybe an internet resource that you can share that you use when you're either writing or getting your stuff ready to go? One internet resource that you use. Can you share that?
Look, I think most people would refer to Kindlepreneur, but which is a fantastic resource. But I also use Melanie Rocket, who I came across on Fiverr. So she did some work for me on social media. But she has an outstanding website. So I think it's melanierocket.com. And she has a huge list of resources there that every now and again I can go to about, from basically the beginning of your book ideas right through to, the promotion of your book. There's something on her website. So I think that's a real good little resource that most people could refer to. Have you heard of that one?
I have.
Yeah.
As well. And it's a really good resource. It really, really can help you out. So, Carl, why don't you share with us the best ways maybe to connect with your book, connect with you, maybe to message you? Do you have Twitter, website, anything? And share more about your book.
Sure. So my first book is The Magnetic Mindset, and I did set up a website, as I mentioned earlier, which is the magneticmindsetblog.com. So I do a weekly blog post on all matters relating to influence, persuasion, management, leadership, and I have been involved in businesses before, so I also have a lot of work on profits, how to make more profits, how to generate leads. I'm big on lead management, lead to revenue management. So my second book with this author's name, Thomas Allen, is on profit hacking. So how to make the most of lead generation.
I have hit you up on Twitter before. And some of the groups that we mutually belong to, yeah. But I've hit you up on Twitter before. No, that's great.
Yeah, so people can contact me probably through the website is probably the best way.
Right. Well, that's it for us today. So I hope that whoever's listening got something good out of this, maybe a spark that got lit. Maybe you can start something of your own one of these days. And that'll be it for Carl Kinsella and myself. And we're signing off. Have a great day.
You must not miss our next episode as we delve into a world of inspiration, entertainment, and thought-provoking insights. Join Michael T. on the next Book Party podcast and experience a new adventure, a new story, and a complete immersion into the world of Pages Unveiled, Chronicles of the Writing Journey.